How cuckoo bananas is it that it's almost October? Like, we're almost there. I've been schooling the kids from home for the last month, and I'm just like happy homeschool mom, which is nutty because, real job and all of the thing. It's crazy, but it's been a lot of fun. And because it's almost October, it is time to release the October birthstone. So that's what we're doing today. But before I tell you about our soapy design and what we scented it with and why we wanted it to look the way that we wanted it to look, hello, I'm Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. What's up, sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things. And today is day 179 of 365 days of soap, which is cuckoo bananas. We're getting close to the halfway point, and we are making the October birthstone. Now, October, I guess technically speaking, the official birthstone is an opal, which is super cool. It's like rainbow of hues. It's iridescent. It's beautiful. It's like a flat, smooth stone, like most turquoise and stuff like cool. And then also a tourmaline. And so we decided that we wanted to play with kind of both stones within this design, which is different than what we've normally done in, previous birthstone soaps. Really, we kind of just stick to the one, but the pink tourmaline was beautiful. And so we wanted to incorporate a pink into a fall soap because most people don't really do that. And we don't put a lot of, kind of bright pink type colors in our fall soaps. And I thought, we need a pop of color right now because it's been raining and that's not fun. So that's what we are doing today. Now the scent blend that we have for this one is a blackberry sage, which is so good. And the reason that I actually made this scent blend was for one of my sudsers at the shop. He comes in and he's always looking for, he gets a lot of bars, but he's always looking for one that, as he said, smells like, sagebrush in the middle of summer. And I went, I can do that. I know what that smell is. I grew up in a high mountain desert. I get that. And so that's what we are doing, mixed with a little bit of blackberry to give it some cool sweetness. So let's go check out the pour and we'll talk more about, the scent and the design and all the things there. So. Okay, so the making of the opal. This is exciting, guys. We are like moments away from October. So yeah, time to do another birthstone soap. And this one is actually very cool because, like the pearl, it doesn't have the normal gems that have like the facets and everything on them, right? That are cut to be, yeah. So they're very like smooth. Opals are very smooth and, roundy or ovally, really, in shape. And that's super cool. Now with October birthstone, there's actually like two. So you have the opal and you have the tourmaline. But both of those stones are known for having like an array of colors, right? So you can see rainbows and meteors and fireworks and all kinds of beautiful things within the stones themselves. And so we thought this would be really, really fun to do with not only some melt and pour embeds for the top, which you see in the far right over there, but also some beautiful sort of rainbow-esque colors with all the cool like pastel hues that you would, find on like a Taylor Swift Lover album, for example. And that's not at all a spoiler for content that's coming at you in the next few days at all. Nope, sure not. But yeah, so the opals, again, we have all the big beautiful colors with this, and we wanted to incorporate the tourmaline on the bottom part of the soap, right? So we're doing a pink tourmaline for the bottom, and then with the remaining colors, we're going to do a sort of modified in the pot, swirl, thin lines, pour type thing, kind of using the pour that I had tried to do about a month ago or so for the Stark bar. And, you know, actually just not screw it up the way that I did for the Stark bar, which still ended up being a super beautiful bar, right? It was absolutely gorgeous. It just was not what I wanted with it exactly. So we're gonna kind of try it with this one. But with this one, we are working with a blend that we've never actually used in cold process before. So anything could happen. We could definitely be getting some thickness from the blend, the scent blend, or, you know, who knows? Gremlins show up in the soap shop when you least expect them, really. But so far this pink looks absolutely great, and it is ready to be poured into the mold to start setting up for the base, and then we can move on to the colored swirls. So now onto the pour of this. Now Georgia May did take the stick blender back to the pink portion to thicken it up a bit before she poured it into the mold. And that's good because we want that base layer to be much like with the June bar, where it's just a really, you know, essentially it's a 2-layer bar and the top layer has all kinds of pretty swirlies in it, kind of like that. So she wants to make sure that the bottom layer that represents the pink tourmaline is nice and set up before she pours any of the rest over it. Now, with this, as she was making this, we actually had one of the other Soaprentices in the shop along with her mother, and they were just chit-chatting while Georgia was making this, which is always super cool. Like, we make the videos for the YouTube channel when, you know, the shop is open and all that jazz, and so at any given time you can walk in and see what we are working on next, which is always fun. But she said that she called over at this point and said, this blend accelerates trace. But as you can see, there's no scent in that yet. So I just think she was gabbing. And based on the length of this video, I would say that's probably accurate, and that's okay, because every time that the Soaprentice comes in, one of the other Soaprentices come in and, you know, to chit-chat, we definitely do the chit-chatting, and it's nice to, you know, have conversations. So I get it, but this batter is getting a little bit thick, which actually it shouldn't be, because this is our swirls master batch, so it should be nice and fluid for quite a while. But based on the amount of time that I cut out of this video, I'm thinking it just kind of got left as, you know, the conversations were happening, and that's, again, completely fine, because as you can see, nothing terrible happens when you're not super quick with your soap. I mean, in some cases, when you're working with like beers or wines or especially whiskeys in your soaps, you should be pretty quick. But with, you know, things like this, you can theoretically leave them for a period of time to do the other things and then come back to them. So this portion here that she's working with the big Pyrex, that one is going to go black, and these ones are going to be the cool swirled colors to sort of mimic a nice hue of, you know, rainbow, really, for the opal part. And then you have the little opal-esque things that will go on the top to sort of, you know, really drive the point home that this is an opal. But the scent blend for this is a really fun blend, actually. So it's a sage. So like, think hot summer in the desert and that smell that comes from the heat on the sage, right? That plus blackberry, which also is a very, you know, summer thing. Blackberries, really. So it's a little bit interesting that we put it in this bar, but I really wanted to use this blend. There's a sudser who has been in a lot, and he's been asking for essentially this, like the heat of the desert mixed with some sort of sweetness. And I'm pretty sure I remember him saying that his birthday is in October, so I wanted to do this for, you know, him. And so that's what we're doing with all of this. But the yeah, see, as you can see, the batter is getting a little bit thick. This is a little bit too thick, actually, to do a proper like a thin lines, or it's definitely too thick to do a proper thin lines. It's not necessarily too thick to do it in the pot swirl, but, you know, it's all okay. It's all meant to be this crazy array of beautiful pastel-y hues, so I think it's all going to work out beautifully. And the final step is going to be putting in the scent blends, splitting it between the 5 portions, or putting it just into the big Pyrex itself. I mean, you can go either way with that. It doesn't super matter, and let's see what she decides to do. She's going to split it between all of them. That's good. I love it. And then she will do the mixy, and we'll see if the it gets thicker now. And so far, I'm not seeing that there's any consistency change. But remember, whenever you put your scent blend in or a secondary liquid phase with like sodium lactate or something like that, it will at least temporarily loosen up the batter so you can continue pouring without it getting too overly, thick. So sometimes that can be deceiving though. So if you don't quickly work with it and get it into the mold almost immediately after you put in that second liquid phase, it might end up getting, even thicker instead of, your desired effect, really. But it doesn't matter. Again, she had told me long before she put the scent blend in that the batter was getting thick, so she knew that she was going to be working with a thick batter with this regardless. And so she's going to do just essentially whatever she can with this thick batter for the pour itself, and it's modified in the pot, right? But you see how the bottom layer is really thick and the top layer is really thick, and she's pouring low against the Pyrex, so none of that colored portion is dipping down into the white, which can be a really cool design if you were doing this, if you want essentially all of the color to be kind of concentrated in one area. So you would essentially have the pink and then a whole bunch of color and then mostly white on the top. So that's a cool way to do this for sure. And I'm interested to see the cut and see, where all of these colors sort of ended up with all of it, because I actually haven't seen the cut at all. We filmed this and I have not, I don't have the footage yet for the cut because Georgia May was so excited. She went into the shop when we're normally closed to cut this soap because she wanted to see what it looked like, and I haven't seen it. I have no idea what it actually looks like inside at this exact moment of me, recording the thing. So I will be finding out, I mean, not literally right along with you, but it's a surprise for me right now as well. And for the pour, again, she's going to do it kind of like we did for the Stark bar, take it on one side. And if this were an appropriately thin batter, I think this would have worked, but it's still really pretty, and I think it's going to achieve the same effect. It's just going to be more tedious to get into the mold, really. And she did learn from my mistakes with the Stark bar, and she propped it up, which again, with a thinner batter, that totally would have worked for it to just slide beautifully down the side there, but she is working with what she has right now. And the bonus of having a thicker batter right now is that she gets to put the embeds on right away, like the toppers. She doesn't need to wait any amount of time before she puts those on. So that's a big bonus. I like it when you can just finish a soap without having to, physically walk away from it. And there are a lot of soaps where I have to physically walk away and go do something else with them because it's, you have to wait, and I'm impatient. And those are the opals for the top, and aren't they gorgeous? They're so iridescent and shimmery, and it's beautiful, and I love these. So we had to do clear melt and pour with these, right? There was really sort of no way around it if the look that we were trying to achieve was a sort of rainbow hue, like an opal. So that's what we did, and that is so pretty. So this is totally looking like mermaid scales, which is delightful. I love that, and that's actually something to keep in mind for future pours. That would make a really beautiful topper for a mermaid soap for sure. That would be something really pretty, like in a full slab. So you have like the entire top of a bar, like the face of the bar is with these cool little things that totally look like mermaid scales. I'm also interested to see how these cut though too, and see what all of the individual bars look like with these little things on top. It's super pretty. And for this soap, I also don't know if she decided to
C-pop this and make sure that pink underneath gets nice and bright and beautiful and sort of cancels out the white from the kaolin clay in it, or not. I'm interested to see if she does that, because again, we have melt and pour in beds on top, and when you have melt and pour in beds on top, you can yeah, well, they can melt. But that actually might not be a bad thing with this. If they melted, they might look more oval-esque, or, you know, whatever. But that is super beautiful. Look how shiny it is. That's so pretty. We don't even need to like spritz it with a mica or anything. It just shines on its own. It's absolutely gorgeous. And this will set up overnight, so Georgia May can do the cut in the morning and see what it all looks like. And I am curious. I'm excited to see what's in this bar. I love the pastel colors. I love all of the coolness about that. And I'm very excited to see what comes of this beautiful, so far, bar of soap. Are you as excited as I am to see what's inside this thing? Look how pretty it is. That is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, this is very exciting. I can already see glycerin rivers too, so that's super exciting. And oh yeah, there's some great glycerin rivers in that. And actually, Georgia May, look at the top. That is it survived C-pop, no problem. That's amazing. I'm super jelly. Yeah, so she had actually said while she was making this that she was hoping for glycerin rivers in this, so it would continue to add to the sort of iridescent nature of an opal or a tourmaline, really. And I agreed, and I thought that was awesome, and it made my little heart happy that I have converted someone to the dark side of glycerin rivers, really. And so that's awesome. And a couple pieces fell off, but I'm sure everything is probably well adhered with the rest of it. Let's see, shall we? I love how she always picks from the middle of the bar. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. That is perfect. Like, the iridescent nature of the top totally extends through the whole bar, right? Like, that is so pretty. You have the same colors represented in the, you know, white portion there as you do on the top. And in doing that, it creates a really beautiful illusion, like the soap is, you know, iridescent and shiny, which is something you actually can't really get in cold processed soap. I mean, I don't know. I've heard tell of people putting glitter in their cold process, but I'm not a big fan of glitter in general. So that's a tough sell for me. Like, the only glitter I do is, you know, like mica-based glitter, and that does not survive the sponification process. It does cool things with tops of soaps though. But yeah, I mean, she achieved the, you know, shiny, ethereal kind of, you know, rainbow of hues thing just within the pour. It was smart. Everything about that is very smart. I even like how the white is not super duper white, because that's good. The scent blend is really, really great. This blackberry sage is, it's good. It's weird to me that we have this in like the fall line though, because it's such a bright, like, spring-y color, but also we did not pick the opal for the October birthstone. That was not our decision, so we rolled with it, and rolling with it was an absolutely great idea, because look how stunning that is. That is so beautiful. That's such a nice addition to the birthstone line, really. I am in love with that. That is day 179, the opal birthstone for October, also tourmaline represented, blackberry sage. It's amazing.
The glycerin rivers, the pink bottom, the cool swirl with the white and all the pretty it's perfect. Like, that is some trickery, illusion-y things for the eyes right there, because normally you can't get those cool sheens in, you know, cold processed soap, and we didn't have to try to get the cool sheens. It was just the pour itself that made it look like that bar is just shimmery, like a tourmaline or like an opal, and it's amazing. And I'm super excited to actually add this to the birthstone line. It's really beautiful, especially right next to the September one. So the August, September, October right next to each other, they're like They're so gorgeous, and I can't even with it. So if you are interested in the October birthstone, you can totally buy it on the website at soapandclay.com. If you are interested in following me on social media, I'm there, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And if you are interested in more soapy antics, you should subscribe to the channel. Do the thing, click the button, come join the Sudzer family. We would love to have you. For those of you who are part of the Sudzer family, thanks for being a part of the family. I appreciate you, and I'm glad that you've been around for this whole journey. And you guys now have, 7 months of birthstone soaps that, we should actually all put them all together so we can see them all. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that for the November one, put them all together. It'll be cool. But yeah, thank you again for being here for another round of 365 days of soap. I super appreciate all of you. I am done for today, and come back tomorrow and we'll see what I'm doing, because I don't actually know right now. Bye.